Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Maria and I just got back from studying abroad in Madrid. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to tell you everything that I would recommend that you do, like tourism wise, like where to go, what kind of food they have, stuff like that. And so yeah, let's get started. So first we're going to talk about sightseeing. I would really recommend that you guys do all the touristy things while you're in Madrid. There's a lot to do. You can definitely spread it out over however long you're going to be there, but I would highly recommend. Madrid has such a rich history, such cool architecture, a lot of really cool museums that you can go visit, and so yeah. So the first place that I really loved was going to El Prado Museum. It is such an extensive art museum. My mom and I went together and we didn't even scratch the surface. You really have to dedicate a lot of time. So if you have a lot of free time on your hands one weekend, you should just spend it at that museum because there's so much to see and it's so cool. I highly recommend. And I do believe they do give discounted tickets to students. Most places do. I can't remember if it's a what percent discount or if it's free for students. But yeah. The second place that I really loved going to was El Retiro Park. I went so many times. I went once with my mom, once by myself, once with my dad, and then 3 or 4 times with friends. Really cool park. If you enjoy running, that's a really good place to run. The park is huge. The park is literally ginormous. It has this really cool pond area, and there's fish and ducks, and Madrid's weather is, coming from a Massachusetts resident, it's nice in Madrid all year round. Didn't wear my winter jacket one time. I think today it was 60 degrees Fahrenheit there. I'm so jealous. But it's definitely super nice there all year round. So you're not really limited to what you can do. El Retiro is an amazing place to go all year round. They also have this giant greenhouse. When I went, they were doing renovations and stuff on it, so I couldn't go inside, but from the pictures online it looks really cool, so I highly recommend you go into the greenhouse at El Retiro if it's open when you go. And so yeah. Next is the Royal Palace. I really love the Royal Palace. It's so cool. I've been a couple times. Again, I do believe they give student discounts on tickets and stuff like that. Pro tip, order them online. Go on the website and get your tickets online, because the ticket line to buy tickets when you're there, in eternity. You'll be there for your entire life, basically. The lines are always so long, so I highly recommend you order the tickets in advance. That's just gonna make your life so much easier. But the Royal Palace is really cool. It's also really big. It'll take you a solid 2-3 hours to get through. And they also have I don't know if you would consider it a cathedral or a church, but right across the plaza there, they also have a church that you can go take a tour of as well. Another thing that people really like to do during their study abroad experience is go traveling, either inside of Spain or outside of Spain. So Spain has this really cool initiative with their youth train pass. So basically anybody under the age of 25 is eligible to receive their own train card with your picture on it and everything, and it's yours, and you can refill it for $8 a month, and you can take the train or the bus anywhere in the country for $8 a month. Can you believe it? So if you're going there, you must get it. You must get it. It's super affordable and makes life so much easier. You only have to think about it once a month, and it's only $8. So, yeah. You can use the train to get anywhere. They have a high-speed train to Barcelona. You could honestly make a day trip out of Barcelona because the high-speed train only takes 3 hours to get there and 3 hours to get back. So you might be exhausted at the end of the day, but it would be a really cool experience if you're studying in Madrid and you want to visit Barcelona, but only for a day. I personally went to Toledo while I was there. That's where Don Quixote takes place. So we saw like an actress performing Don Quixote in the street, which was really cool. And we did a guided tour of Toledo. And so they picked us up to Madrid and we drove out on a bus with everybody. And it was only about 2 hours, the drive. And then the tour guide took us all around Toledo, and then we got back by like early afternoon. So if you're looking to do something for like just a Saturday or a Sunday, that's a really good idea. And so yeah. So as far as traveling outside of the country, it is it's super inexpensive compared to flights that we are familiar with in the US. My friend went to the Canary Islands for a weekend. She was running a half marathon there. And so I believe her tickets were under $100. And the Canary Islands are like tropical. Like it was 80-90 degrees when she was there. And she went like end of November. She also went to Morocco. I think her round trip flights were like $48. There is so much to do there. And if you are studying in Madrid, I highly recommend checking out the website City Life Madrid. They have a bunch of cool resources to help you like figure out really anything that you need when living in Madrid. They also have a lot of cool day trips or weekend trips that you can sign up and pay for and go on with other students as well. So let's talk a little bit about food. So when most people think about Spanish food, they think about tapas and paellas and sangria. And while these things are very popular there, I would say the tapas are pretty repetitive. Oops. Everything basically either has ham, egg, potato, and cheese in it, or some variation of a combination of the four of them. For example, croquetas con jamón, potato, cheese, and ham. Regular croquetas, potato, and cheese. Huevos rancheros is potatoes, egg, sometimes ham. Pincho de tortilla is egg, potato, and potato. So that's kind of what diet is, but do not be fooled. Madrid has such amazing Asian cuisine. They have a whole little Asia section of Madrid. Me and my friend went to an Asian convenience store and we did the whole like make the ramen there. They had all the stuff and it was really cool. They have such good Asian food there. It was actually wild. So don't feel obligated to just eat tapas and paellas. There's so much other cuisine that you can get there as well. And yeah. So a common misconception, I mentioned sangria a minute ago. A common misconception is that people drink sangria in Madrid. I've never really seen it. What they do drink though is tinto de verano, which is Spanish wine with lemonade or like a soda, like a Sprite. It depends on who makes it, but usually it's wine with lemonade. So good. It's really good. Highly recommend. I haven't tried sangria, but I've heard like if you order sangria, they're just gonna give you tinto de verano anyway. So I highly recommend tinto de verano. And yeah. Another really cool thing to do is on Sundays, they do have a giant flea market called El Rastro. And it's every single Sunday without fail, all year round. And they have a bunch of different stalls. Like El Rastro is ginormous. But if you are going to El Rastro, just a heads up, you do need to bring cash because not everywhere takes card, and some stalls that do take cards, they do require a minimum in order to use the card machine. So make sure you bring cash and make sure they're small bills. One thing about El Rastro is you are expected to negotiate, which I didn't know beforehand. So I was just like, they would tell me a price and I'd be like, oh, okay. And they'd just give it to me. You're supposed to negotiate. Don't take the first offer. Another thing is during December, they do have Christmas markets, which are really fun. They're all over the city. There are so many of them. You can honestly just walk around and you'll run into at least 3 without even having to look for them. So those two can be a little bit repetitive as well. Like most of the stalls sell the same stuff. But yeah. Another shopping opportunity is Gran Via. The amount of clothes that I have bought on my trip was actually insane. I was really mentally preparing myself to have to bring a 3rd checked bag onto the plane home with me. Luckily, I didn't have to do that, thank God. But I did buy a lot of clothes. It was getting a little bit close, cutting it close. But Gran Via is a great place to go. It is super busy though. They say that Madrid has like a tourist season, but I really do believe that it's tourist season there all year round, because I would go out on on a Sunday evening to go to Gran Via to go shopping. So many tourists were there, like shopping around. It's always packed on Gran Via. It can be a little bit overwhelming, but it's so worth it because the clothes are so much cheaper than here. So much cheaper. And they have all like the same stores essentially. I went to H&M, Zara, obviously, Zara is from Spain. They had Urban Outfitters. They also have Berkshire, Mango, Stradivarius. Stradivarius is truly my home away from home. I love the style in Madrid and all the clothing stores that they have there. Just brings me so much joy and happiness. So yeah, if you go to Madrid, you have to go shopping. It's really necessary. It's really necessary. And of course we have Plaza de Mayor and Plaza del Sol. I didn't spend a ton of time at either of those 2 spots this trip, just because like they're always packed. I've seen them before. There's not a ton about them really. Like if it's your first time in Madrid, definitely go check them out, but it's really not somewhere where you would spend a ton of your time, I would say. Like there's a lot of cool places that aren't there. So I'm not saying don't go, but it's just like there's not a ton to do in Sol or Plaza de Mayor. And so yeah. So just to do a little recap, make sure you do your research on where you want to go. Maybe like your first week, make a little itinerary of all the touristy things that you want to do. See if they have student discounts. That's always super helpful. And yeah, so that is going to be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found some new things to think about if you're going to visit Madrid. And so yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.